Hi everyone, Tasha here for Cat Scrappiness. Today we're going to create this cute Quokka themed summer card using items from the June release. The items I'm going to be using today include these really pretty enamel dots, and these are called Happy Summer. I'll also be using the A2 size frame dies, and I'm using 2 of them. And these are great because they have like the perfect border. I'm going to be using the Summer Quokka stamp set. This stamp set is so cute. It includes 3 Quokkas and some summer accessories. And I'll be using the coordinating die set to cut the little Quokka out. For the sentiment, that stamp set does not include sentiments, but I'm going to use the Happy Summer word die with shadow. I love the shadow dies from Cat Scrappiness. And then for the paper, I'm using the Summer Vibes paper pad, and these are all double-sided, and I'm going to be using this fun pattern and the light blue. To begin, we're going to start stamping our little Quokka. It's hard to decide which one to choose, but I'm going to select the one that's lounging on a beach chair. I think it's really a cute image, especially since it has sunglasses. So I'm going over to my Misty stamping tool, and I'm going to be stamping the Quokka with black hybrid ink. And I did end up stamping the Quokka 2 times, and that's the best part of using a stamping tool. This way you can make sure you get a great image. Next, I went over and started coloring. I'm going to have this Quokka just be the normal colors that I use for Quokka, so a lot of tans and browns, and I'm starting with the lightest color. I wanted to have the highlighted colors on the Quokka's chest area, the bottoms of the feet, the tail, and then the little ears. Then I'm going in with the mid-tone, and this suntan color is just so pretty. It's E33, and it's one of my favorite colors, and I'm just going in and adding that mid layer. I put it all over the Quokka's face, legs, and arms. And then after I was done with that mid-tone, I went in with a darker shade of brown for his cute little nose, and then to add little details for the fur. And this again is really easy to do with just 3 colors. So you just want to start with the lightest and then build up and add your details with the darkest shade. Then I went in and filled in the glasses with just some dark gray and started coloring the chair. I thought the beach chair would look nice having the red and white stripes, but I added some gray to the in between the red, and it looks awesome. So I gave him some red glasses to go with his chair, and then some really pretty teal swim shorts. And I just love this color combination. He looks like he's having such a great day, and his drink, I made it lemonade. So once I was done coloring, I used the coordinating die, and this is how he looks all cut out. The die is cut perfectly. You just have to run it through once. And again, that's how it would look. It's so simple. Next, it's time to cut our little frames and layers. So I'm starting with the largest frame die and that pretty blue paper. Again, this is double-sided paper, so you could use either side, but I really like this color of blue. After I cut out the largest frame, I went in with that second size that I'm going to be using and just use that leftover paper. You want to make sure you don't waste any of this pretty blue paper. So it's best to cut the biggest one first and then use that leftover to do the smaller frame. Since I did have some leftover paper, I decided to go with the Happy Summer in that same blue color. I just put a little piece of low-tack tape down and then ran it through my cutter. And then look how perfect it cuts out. And then for the inside of the frame, I used that same small frame die, and I just cut a piece of white cardstock. This way that center card would fit perfectly in the center of that little frame, and I wouldn't have to cut it or measure it. It already fits perfectly. And then for my greeting, I added a shadow in yellow. Now it's time to make a simple little beach scene. I'm using some low-tack tape again and just putting it on a little work surface. I used a piece of scrap paper just to kind of mask off that top layer. And then I'm going to go in with several shades of Distress Oxide ink. I'm starting with this light shade of Antique Linen. And this kind of has a really pretty golden tone that looks just like sand. So I had it darker along the edges and then had a little bit of a highlight in the center. I moved to my masking tape and now I'm just going to go in with some tub mold glass for some little clouds. I'm not using a stencil or anything. I'm just going in with kind of a light motion just to add a little color. And then I'm going in with some broken china on the bottom to resemble water. And I just started with putting on ink darker on the bottom and blending it up. After that was done, it's time to assemble our card. I'm using liquid adhesive for the frame. It's just easier, and this frame is just the perfect size for an A2 size card. So all I had to do was cut a piece of paper at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 out of the pattern paper print, and then attach the frame, and again it fits perfectly. So once that was all lined up, I just pressed it down firmly to make sure it had a good bond, and then I went in and added the next frame. And you see how you have that fun design all in that background? And this is so easy to do, and it works really great with the liquid adhesive. So I'm just going to add that to the center. And once I have it positioned where I want it, again, I'm just going to press down to make sure it holds. Next, I'm going in and putting my little beach scene. I am using glue runner for this since it's a bigger space, and I'm just going to attach it directly to the center. And do you see how pretty that looks? It's just some simple ink blending in the background, and it already looks like a beachy scene. To attach the little Quokka image, I'm using these little foam squares. They're a little bit thicker than just regular foam tape, but again, you can just attach them directly onto the paper or use layers of cardstock just to raise them up a bit. I had these on hand, so these are what I'm going to be using for this project. I did position him lower on the card. I wanted him to be on the sandy beach, and I also wanted to make sure there was enough room for the happy summer greeting. For the sentiment, to attach it to the shadow, I'm using liquid adhesive again. This is the easiest way to attach the happy summer, I think. And if you wanted to make a sticker, you could do that as well and just cut it out at the same time as the happy summer greeting, but liquid adhesive works fine. And then to attach it to my card, I'm just using some regular foam tape. Again, this foam tape is a little bit thinner than the squares I use for the Quokka, but I like all the different dimension on this card. And then I'm just going to position it. I love this shade of blue. It's just so pretty with the yellow behind it. It looks just like the sun is shining behind the greeting. And then lastly, I'm adding some enamel dots. I used the lighter sandy color on the sand, and then I put some blue dots on the water. And this is my completed card. I did attach it to a white heavyweight card base, and I just made it a little bit bigger than the frame. I hope you guys enjoyed today's project, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.